Hi, so this is Chapter 10, Coasts, Beaches, and Estuaries. And to start off, what I learned is coast, coastal area, and coastal zones are all different things. The seaward boundary of the coast zone is defined by the state and federal laws. Coasts are normally composed of soft, unconsolidated materials. The shore is a part of the coast. The beach is an accumulation of sediments, and it is also a part of the coast. The study of landforms and the changes of it over time is known as geomorphology. Coastal geomorphology includes wave, wind, tidal range, tidal supply, and many more things. One way to classify coasts is to classify them as erosional or depositional. Primary coasts are formed by either four things, which are erosion of land, deposits of sediments, volcanic activity, and earthquakes. Secondary coasts are formed by either three things, which are erosion due to waves or currents, deposition of sediments by waves or currents, and alteration of marine life. A shallow entrance is called a sill. A dune coast is a wind-modified depositional coast. Some things I found interesting is that coastal areas can occur very fast or very subtle. One occurrence of subtle is the Mississippi River, which was made throughout time. The shore, beach, and coast are all different things. Eustatic change, which is when sea level changes due to an alteration in the volume of water in the oceans. During the last period of glaciation, the sea level dropped by an estimated 328 feet or more. Sea level rises during global warming. The differences between the primary and secondary coasts I found interesting because I feel like they're somewhat similar, but they also there's a lot of differences. When glaciers or ice sheets move, they create a mound of rubble, which is called moraine. Deltas and their sediments I found really interesting just from how they're formed and what they create. I found rivers carry a lot of sediments that are from the land. And I found it interesting how Cups formation is still a mystery and how we haven't figured that out yet. Some things I want to know more about are eustatic change and its global effects, classifying coasts and if one way is better than the other, or does it just depend on research, because there was like 3 different ways to classify them, so I also found that interesting. I found the formation of sills, which is an entrance, interesting, and they just touched on it a little bit, so I thought it would be interesting to know more about that. The creation of Cape Hatteras, which was from an alluvial plain, is how it was formed, and I kind of wanted to know more about alluvial plains and how they create things. Sand spits and hooks and how they grow and shift, I want to know more about that because there was only maybe a tiny paragraph section on it, and I thought it was really interesting how they can grow and move from where they started. Cusps and how they are formed, as I said earlier, I want to know more about that because they're a mystery, and I don't, so I definitely want to know more about that. And 3 questions I had for Chapter 10. The first one is, what is eustatic change's most common global effect? The second question is, what is the main differences between primary and secondary coasts, which I touched on earlier, how they're kind of similar, but they're also 2 very different things. And another one that I mentioned earlier is cusps, and the third question is, why is cusp formation still a mystery? So to go over Chapter 10, my main things were cusps, the primary and secondary coasts, and use static changes are what I found interesting and what I learned about and what I wanted to know more about.